Showed you how to make an array, how to populate it with JSON objects, more than one JSON object, how to push more objects onto the array, and of course you can also push more than one object onto the array at a time. Right? If I wanted to remove an item from the end of the array, that would be pop. That will remove one from the end of the array. If I want to remove one from the beginning of the array, that would be shift. That removes the first item added to the array. And then if I wanted to add one to the beginning of the array, then it would be unshift. So there, I've just added. Let me turn this off for a second. Thingies.push. Oh, I see. Unshift, add these two. Let me just remove this. Yeah. Remove, unshift there. I've just added these two at the beginning of the array. We didn't see anything change because I was adding more objects with the same value as the ones that were already in there. Okay. So I could just unshift just that one. There. I've added one to the beginning of the array. Thingies.unshift. I could, same thing. I could just copy that and make that another value. You know, see, it's at the beginning. Okay, so there. I showed you how to remove one from the end of the array using pop, how to remove one from the beginning of the array using shift. Let's say I want to remove a specific one. It's not the one that was added at the beginning or the one that was added at the end. Let's say I want to remove whichever one my mouse is over. Right? Okay, so we know how to do that, how to detect where the mouse is, and when it's over the thing using distance or dist, yes, distance between, what do we say, mouse X and mouse Y, and these values here, basically, we're going to be checking. But I can't take these values here and use them out here. No, they're only available down in here, right? The each variable isn't available out here. It's down here and only available inside this. Well, you can get it outside the function, but it has to be it would have to be down here, and then you're not getting each in order. You're only getting whatever it ended up being after it was done doing its thing. See, so now let me see. So to use dist, it's safe to use in here. And I'm going to be using an if statement, right? If something, then do something. Yes. And so if my distance is less than, where's my size? 18. So half of 18 would be 9. So that would be half the diameter. Okay. Then we're going to do something. In this case, we want to remove something from a specific location. And the command for doing that is splice, S-P-L-I-C-E. And the way it works is you say which number, like if I want to remove the first one, 0, and you tell it how many you're going to splice, and close that up. Okay. Thingies.splice, semicolon. Okay. So now it will remove the first one no matter what. Okay, when it works. But we want to, instead of removing the first one, we're going to be going through this loop and checking each one, right? So we want the corresponding value in there, right? Like that. There. So splice will remove one value starting wherever this happens to be when it detects a collision, you see. Okay, so now in order to make all this work, we need to get it inside of a draw function so it's all getting updated. Okay, so I'm just going to take all that, drag it up into there, okay, and don't do that, and tab all this in. Okay, so And why don't I just put this on a new line and this on a new line just to clean it up just a hair. Okay, sweet. So I'm checking for collision, and if so, then splice. Okay, I'm going to go over here. Boom, it just spliced, but you probably didn't see anything happen because what? I do not have a background, and I'm not actually erasing anything that I've drawn. There, you can see, it's not there. Woohoo! So if I want white, 255, there. So now I can splice each item out of my array. Oop, I've got a little problem there. The last item in the array is not going to delete. And why is that? Okay, here's what's going on. Here we've checked to see if there's collision, and if yes, we're deleting it. And then right after that, we're still trying to access the variables of the object which has been deleted, you see. So you can't do it that way, you know. So like, one way to safeguard it would be to turn this into an else statement, you know, and then only draw the point if you haven't deleted it, you know, then everything is safe. Another little issue, let me restart here, where you may observe when you delete one, all the other ones seem to flicker. If you get them in whatever, in the out of order thing. See, there's a little flicker each time you delete one. Yeah. And the reason for that is you have this array and you're removing something out of the middle, and now all of the leftover ones need to be written over one spot to complete, you know, to fill in the blanks, basically. And so there's a spot where you have an empty array and everything has to get written over while it's all still happening, okay? And so now the way to get around that is in here, we're going to have to go back to the old-fashioned method where, let me just comment this out so there's not going to be any problems, where we used to go for each in, not in, we're going to say var each equals 0. Remember that? And then while each is less than the length of the array, thingies.length, semicolon, each plus plus, right? So, okay. Now, that should accomplish the same thing. Let's just double check that real quick. We're erasing things from the array, but we still have that flicker, okay? So now I did it this way just to show, okay, the way to fix that is we're going to, instead of starting at the beginning of the array and erasing and going forward, we're going to start from the end of the array and work our way backwards. That way, if you end up deleting anything, it's not going to update the remaining objects until it's finished doing its thing or whatever. See, so so to reverse this, again, I'm going to like comment this out. We need thingies.length. Okay, so we're going to start out all over here. Thingies.length. It's actually, what is it? Thingies.length -1. Yes, and then if thingies.length -1. That's already I don't have to make that a var because that's already a var, you know. And then, whoops, what happened? Somehow it went up the line. There we go. Thingies.length -1, while thingies. I'm sorry. While the variable. I'm sorry, var, my variable is each, var each equals, there, thingies -1, while each is greater than or equal to 0. And then instead of going plus plus, we're going to say each minus minus. Okay, let's see what happens now. So I'm going to restart. I got 4 objects. They each delete flicker free. There you go. So yeah, so that's a little trick you have to remember. A couple things. Being aware, you can't splice something, then access its values. You know, another way to, instead of using the else statement here, let me just knock this out for a second. Else, instead of the else statement, you could just go and make sure that something exists here before you go and draw it, you know. So another if statement, basically, you just checking there. If thingies each is even there, right, then draw it, see. Then it won't be trying to access a variable of something that has already been deleted previously, you know. So just that is how to handle deleting objects from your array using splice. Of course, here when you delete something, you know, you could add an extra point to the score or whatever you want to do, right? Pickup points, health points, you name it. Okay. JSON objects, deleting them, and of course, once it's deleted from the array, it's deleted from existence, right? It's gone. As opposed to, like, if I did the same thing using variables, you know, oftentimes people like hide something off the screen or something because, you know, it's still there. The variable is still in existence, you know. But when you splice it from the array, then the variables are gone, you know. So nice and clean. Okay.